Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. We are at our final install for the week. This is a very long run. Probably one of the longest runs I've done. So, yes, it does have a seam in it. Unfortunately, they don't make slabs 30 feet, 40 feet long. Farm sink, it has some stuff sitting in it. We just cleaned it out. It's a little dusty. But we'll use our stainless steel cleaner and clean it up for them before we leave. And they just recently got their floors done, so we went ahead and just covered everything up like we always do. But we took our shoes off while we were covering everything up. And I'll kind of show you the run we're going to be going through. Going here. And then we're going to hang a left here. And then we'll be going outside here. Coming through the garage. Through our trailer here. And had to back up this driveway. I'll show you when we leave. But just like always, I'll show you how everything goes.
Just we can go to the front door if we want.
And okay, we'll take a look. Like always, guys, I'll show you how everything goes. If we run into any issues, I'll show you what they are and how we work through them. You guys know the deal. They're going to be getting tile up on the walls afterwards. So here we go. Just like always, anytime we have a cooktop or a drop-in sink cut out, we always put a cooktop bag in here. You know what's crazy? I've worked for several granite shops before I opened my own. This is 7 years in business. You know, not one of those granite shops ever used cooktop bags. They're cool with just dust flying all in the counters, hitting the sliders for the cabinet doors and everything. So this will save you a ton of aggravation. If you get that dust in those slides, you're ruined. We ran our laser on this because it's such a long run, and we run lasers on everything because that's just how we are. And it's not too awful bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, it ain't perfect, but it could be a lot worse being a run this long. So I'm pretty happy with how it is as far as level goes. We do have a little high spot, so we will be using a few shims, but you know, you can't ask for everything to be perfect, so we just got to roll with what we roll with and make it work. This is the stone that's going in here. Over here, I went ahead and notched the wall. I asked my new guy here, Miko, to, you know, decide what we needed to do with the tops. And I asked Tony, trying to get them trained so they know the steps to take if I'm ever not with them. So the reason we went ahead and notched this wall here is so that we can slide this piece into the wall. It'll free up space in between our seams when we push the tops in so we don't chip any of the seams. And also it'll give us space to put our epoxy in between the seams so we get a nice hold, and we don't have to worry about that falling apart in the future. And Gary can edit out what we don't want to have in there. We'll just kind of go over there. So a lot of times on the videos, you guys don't get to see us using the no lift and sliding the tops in. Since we got a third person on the job, I thought I would have him do this video of us doing this. So of course the sink over here, you want to go up, not damage the sink in any way. Also we got the stainless appliances over here. I want to make sure that we are, you know, safe on them. So now we're going to go over and let's push the whole cart forward. just watch that sun. Alright, at this point, we're gonna work the top over. I need to go down some. Don't put pressure on that little tail. Alright, now I'll lower the top, cart, kind of level it out a little bit. So normally I would just lower my cart and that would have caused that end to come up. Instead I leaned over and reach up and picked it up, because if I lower this cart, I would put this top on the front side of this sink, and I don't want that because it's possible to scratch it. Hold on. Yeah. So I'm guessing this wall gets bigger back there, so. Alright. So I'm about to go get the template and see what's going on. Go ahead and hit pause.
Wait, where you are?
Alright guys, obviously I notched the wall there. If you look at the back of this, we've got major bows in the wall here. So it was a cut down back here, so it's fine. We'll just inset it, so hopefully it'll all work out now.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Same deal, we want to stay off of the sun. Go back to car up once we get this top in here. We don't want to put pressure on that lid. Now we're going to hand the worker back and see if it works out. Yep. Square it up. Nope.
It's that piece right there. Maybe the. I think it. Yep, got stuck on the wood.
Push it straight.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pause it. Lower it down just a hair. Alright, let's see what happens. Same place, you know why?
That lip right there.
What did I say earlier?
Yep. That corner.
Just bear with me. Where's the card at? You video on Nico?
Yeah, I got it on.
Alright, so I said earlier, I was like, man, it feels like it's stuck on this wood. Because normally if you're too tight, if you got strength, you can push it. But if it's stuck on a piece of wood or something, I don't care how strong you are, you're not going to push it. You're just binding up, and that's what it felt like to me. Well, I went out and cut it anyway. So just wash it on the front here. Alright, we go up again. Go ahead. Alright. Wash on the front. So I went ahead and notched the wall. It's hard when you're in a corner because you can't really see what's going on over there. If you've done it long enough, you can tell by feel a lot of times whether it's up against something or it's just too tight or whatever. But anyway, we made it work, so it's in there. All right, we've got our first two pieces in. This seam right there. So this is why we pushed that one there into the wall. So if you look here, we've given ourselves about a 1/4 inch of space. Do you have any from the cabinet over there? So we're smooth on the cabinet. So by pushing it in, we gave ourselves about a 1/4 inch. If we hadn't have done that and we would have tried to get this in without cutting it into the wall, these seams would be together rubbing. And every time you push it back, heaven forbid, you get unstraight. And you know, straight is your shortest distance. When you angle it one way or the other, it makes the piece longer. So it's going to chip that seam all to pieces, and then you're going to go to put it together and you're going to have an ugly seam. So that's why you push it into the wall. Also on a piece like this, your installer and your install's partner, they have to be on the same page. They have to be in rhythm when they're dancing. So we're going to push it in. Even with this 1/4 inch, that's not a lot of room. If Tony goes, let's say 6 inches ahead of me, it's going to push this corner into this seam and it's going to chip it all to pieces. If I go ahead of Tony, I'm going to push this corner into the seam, or this one when I get down to it, and it's going to chip it. So it's very, very important that you communicate with your partner and stay in rhythm. I'm going to let Miko record us while we're pushing this back so that I can talk. I don't like more than 2 people pushing on a top like this, because every set of hands you get on it, it's more likely that you get out of balance. One person pushes more than the other, and it's hard to determine how much force you're putting behind something because you don't know what the other person's putting behind it. If 2 people are pushing on one side, one person's putting 10 pounds of force, the other person, you know, if he puts 5, it may not be enough. If he puts 20, it may be too much. So nobody knows how much everybody else is pushing. So Tony, and it's also up to the person on the seam side as you're pushing the top back to visually watch and to verbally communicate with your partner where you're at. If you see you getting too close, you say, whoa, let me catch up with you. If I'm getting too close, I'm like, all right, you need to speed up. I'm getting ahead of you. You know what I mean? So communication is key. All right, let's go easy. Looking good, looking good, looking good, looking good. All right, hold up. All right, move easy. All right, we're looking pretty good. So now we've got our space, and we will adjust everything and make it happen. We'll have to pull that one out and then get our curves and stuff lined up and all that. So if you see here, I always block my cooktops. This one looks kind of funny. See how it's not a blocked rectangle with the corners knocked out? Well, that's so I can put my seam setter on this and still pull these together. Had I went ahead and cut that, then I wouldn't be able to put my seam setter on there. I went ahead and cut this out instead of just leaving it plain, so it's the minimum amount of cutting in the house. You want to shoot for the minimum amount of cutting in the house and still be able to support your top. If you have a seam, you want to have the minimum amount of cutting in the house, still have support for the top, and still leave enough to where you can set up your seam setter. So I know that's a mouthful, but if you're an installer, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I just wanted to show y'all this before I took it off. Remember how earlier I was saying why I cut the cooktop out that way? You can see I was able to put my grips on here with that hole there, and as you can see, my cut stopped before I get to the seam setter.
We just cut the cooktop. All that dust will be in the cabinets if we not use that box. We were running 2 vacuums.
All right, guys, we finished. Tony's going over aftercare here.
Okay. 2 little screws here, so that way there when you get it, you can just screw it right up.
Most of the dishwashers are side mount, but in case it is top mount, you have that there. So
I have no idea.
It,
It's in the box out there.
if it's top mount, it'll have little ears in it.
Travis is doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
so.
they'll take care of it.
If you get anything sticky on your countertop, so you can just take the razor blade and just take it right off.
Okay.
So it took us a little while out here, guys, mainly because I try to make things as perfect as I possibly can. After I set anything in, I noticed that my overhang on the sink was a little different. So where this is,
Okay.
obviously I try to make everything perfect, but also where this was such a long run, I wanted everything to be perfectly straight.
Okay.
So I went ahead and modified this so that I have the same amount of sink showing on both sides. So we got right at a 1/2 inch on both sides. Also, once I pulled everything in
Everybody's been very helpful, very nice.
and I was putting the seams
Trying to
together,
Make up my mind, and
I thought
Figuring
once
out what
I
to do
pulled
and all
everything
that.
together that it
I'm
would
not good with big decisions.
it would shift
Sometimes I
everything
get
as it was supposed
overwhelmed,
to,
and I'm like,
but it didn't.
that's hard, I'm like.
And I had a little bit more overhang on this side than I did this side.
What I wanted, but then it's like, oh,
So I had to pull this piece back out,
you know, it's not like you
modify this side over here so that when I pulled it back, I had the same amount of overhang on my sink. You know, if you notice things like that and you take the time to fix them and you do quality work.
We don't look that up.
Okay.
I can't mess with electric.
Yeah, we put it in the hole. They'll hook it up.
Okay.
It just looks more finished once we put it in the hole. I haven't got you in the video. If you want to be in it, you can, but I try not to get the customers in it without their permission. As you guys can see how long this run is, it's a very long run, and it looks very good. You can't tell where one piece stops and another piece begins. That's why we did just a small seam here and back there, and then of course this one in the center of the sink here, which you got the faucet hole as well, but we've got the grains running perfectly through it. The same with this one over here. As you can see, this grain over here starts here and then it finishes over here. So it makes everything look like it's all one piece.
I guess Travis will do the holes for the faucet and stuff.
Oh, the faucet hole's already in there.
Okay, did you do one for the